In the world of hypercars, there are fast cars, and then there are milestone machines. Cars that don't just push the envelope. They rip it apart and redefine what's possible. This is one of them. Meet the Porsche Mission X, an all-electric concept car that doesn't ask where the future is heading. It declares it. This isn't just Porsche dipping its toes into the electric performance market. This is Porsche telling us exactly what its next halo car might be. A successor not just to the 918 Spider or the Carrera GT, but to the very idea of what a hypercar is. At first glance, it looks like something that escaped from a wind tunnel in Stuttgart. Impossibly low, beautifully sculpted, and utterly alien. But the Mission X doesn't rely on shock value. Its presence is quiet but intense. Every inch of this car has purpose. Every surface is aerodynamic. Every vent is functional. Every curve channels air, grip, and heat in the most precise way possible. The doors are perhaps the first dramatic flourish, a nod to the legendary Porsche 917. They open forward and upward, revealing a cockpit that feels more like a fighter jet than a street-legal vehicle. There's no traditional steering wheel. It's a yoke, complete with thumb toggles and integrated drive mode selectors. The seats are sculpted carbon shells, one in Kalahari gray, the other in Andalusia brown, harnessed with 6-point belts. And it all feels tightly engineered around the driver, not just built for show. But for all its design flair, the Mission X's real power lies under the skin. Porsche is targeting a 1-to-1 power-to-weight ratio, 1,500 horsepower, for just 1,500 kilograms. That puts it squarely in the ultra-elite category, rivaling cars like the Rimac Nevera and Lotus Evija, but with a very different approach. Instead of just brute force and big battery packs, Porsche is optimizing balance. The battery is mounted in the center, behind the driver, a layout they call the core. It's a reinterpretation of the mid-engine layout that made the Carrera GT and 918 Spider such incredible machines to drive. The chassis is a carbon fiber monocoque, keeping weight down while maintaining rigidity. Power is expected to come from 4 electric motors, one at each wheel, delivering precise torque vectoring and a level of handling control that internal combustion cars can only dream of. Porsche hasn't released official performance numbers yet, but insiders suggest 0 to 62 miles per hour in about 2.2 seconds, 0 to 124 miles per hour in under 7, and a top speed well above 250 miles per hour. But straight-line speed isn't the headline here. Porsche says it wants the Mission X to be the fastest road-legal car around the Nürburgring Nordschleife. That's not just about horsepower. It's about grip, cooling, cornering precision, and confidence at the absolute edge. To help achieve that, the Mission X is loaded with active aerodynamics. The front and rear wings adjust dynamically. The rear diffuser channels airflow under the flat carbon floor. And those turbine-style rear wheels? They're designed to pull air through the brakes and out the sides for improved cooling at high speed. There's no exhaust note, no vibration, just a sense of tightly coiled energy. It's silent, but not soulless. In fact, it might be one of the most emotional electric vehicles ever created, because it's not trying to be a Tesla killer or a Rimac clone. It's trying to be a Porsche. Inside, the cockpit is dominated by digital screens and racing telemetry. You get a lap timer, a G-meter, a multi-camera recording system, and even a mechanical stopwatch module on the passenger side, a signature detail lifted from Porsche's motorsport heritage. And yet, it doesn't feel cluttered or overly futuristic. Everything is intentional, clean, purpose-built. There's no infotainment fluff, no back seats, no apologies, just raw, distilled performance. Now, it's important to remember, this is still a concept car. Many of the numbers we've discussed are targets, not verified specs. There's no confirmation yet that it will go into production, but Porsche has dropped hints that we could see a road-going version by 2027. If that happens, and if it delivers even 80% of what this concept promises, it could become one of the defining hypercars of the decade. But even if it never reaches a showroom floor, the Mission X already matters, because it represents something far bigger than just Porsche's next fast car. It's a philosophical shift, a proof of concept that emotion, design, and mechanical purity don't have to vanish in the electric age. That an EV can still give you goosebumps. still make you lean forward, still make you dream. So no, the Mission X isn't just another Hyper EV. It's a reminder what happens when engineers, designers, and dreamers stop asking what's next and start asking what's possible. And that is why it's called Mission X. The Mission X isn't Porsche's first moonshot. It's part of a lineage, a very specific one. In 1986, the Porsche 959 redefined what an all-wheel drive supercar could do, blending motorsport engineering with road usability. In the early 2000s, the Carrera GT took naturally aspirated performance to a new level, wrapped in exotic carbon fiber. And in 2015, the 918 Spider proved that electrification could be used not just for efficiency, but for absolute dominance. The Mission X is being positioned as a spiritual successor to that trio. But this time, there's no engine at all. That makes the challenge greater, because you're not just building a fast electric car. You're preserving the spirit of Porsche without the visceral soundtrack or mechanical engagement that defined their past heroes. And somehow, even as a concept, the Mission X feels like it carries that torch. One of the most interesting things about this car is how quiet Porsche has been about its full potential. No massive spec sheets, no viral stunts, no flashy marketing. Just a simple statement. This could be our fastest, most advanced road car ever. That restraint feels deliberate and a little bit ominous because it means Porsche is serious. Compare that to other players in the electric hypercar space. The Rimac Nevera is a technological marvel built on raw numbers, 1,914 horsepower, 0 to 60 in 1.85 seconds. The Lotus Evija is a striking piece of sculpture with active aerodynamics and track-ready tuning. Tesla's upcoming Roadster claims numbers that seem designed to break the internet. But the Mission X is different. It's not built to dominate a spec sheet. It's designed to feel like a Porsche. That subtlety is what makes it dangerous and potentially brilliant. And this isn't Porsche's first EV. The Taycan, despite being heavier than a Panamera, is still regarded as one of the best driving electric sedans ever made. It has response, poise, and confidence in corners that few EVs can match. That's not a coincidence. Porsche has been preparing for this moment for over a decade. What the Mission X does is take everything they've learned from racing, from hybrid development, from the Taycan, and apply it without compromise. If the Taycan is Porsche's proof-of-concept EV for the mass market, then the Mission X is the brand unchained. Of course, it won't be cheap. If it enters production, even as a limited-run hypercar, it will likely cost several $1 million and be built in extremely low numbers, possibly even less than the 918 Spider. But that's not the point. The Mission X isn't being built to fill showrooms. It's being built to inspire, to push technology forward so that what they learn here can eventually trickle down into more accessible models. And that's how Porsche works. The 959 gave us the AWD systems that powered the 911 Turbo for decades. The Carrera GT introduced carbon ceramic brakes to the road. The 918 laid the groundwork for hybrid supercars across the industry. The Mission X could do the same for ultra-lightweight EV architectures, 900-volt battery systems, and active aero solutions. It's easy to dismiss concepts like this as vaporware, just shiny shapes on a motor show stage. But Porsche doesn't make empty promises. When they show something this detailed, this refined, and this grounded in engineering reality, it's because they're already deep into development that if and when the Mission X sets a lap at the Nürburgring, it won't be about breaking records just to win headlines. It will be about proving that an EV can deliver feel. That electric doesn't mean numb. That silence doesn't mean soulless. It will be a hypercar for the future, yes, but also one for the drivers, the purists, the people who still believe that a car can be art, engineering, and emotion in one single object. So where does that leave us? The Mission X may not yet be real, but its message is. It tells us that the age of performance is far from over. It's evolving, becoming cleaner, sharper, more focused. And Porsche wants to lead that evolution. So while the rest of the world chases numbers, the Mission X is chasing feeling. That's why it matters. Even if you'll never drive it. Even if it never makes it to production. This car exists to remind us that the future can still thrill, still inspire, still make your palms sweat, even if there's no engine under the hood, because when Porsche builds a mission, they usually complete it